day and welcome back to Rehash, where we recap the big stories of the past week. And since he's the only man here on the news desk, he's going to go first. Ken, what were you up to this week?
Well, I covered two stories related to liberation. As you know, we celebrated 72 years of liberation this week. And one of the stories I did was the Menengan concentration camp. The Guam Preservation Trust, they announced that it was placed on the National Register of Historic Places. It's a pretty big deal. I think there's actually about 100 places on Guam that are on that register. But this surprisingly took about like 40 years to get on this actual register. And Mike McKeel, who's on the board, he was saying that this would help with like putting Guam's story with the rest of the U.S. And there's so much history and stories behind the Menengan concentration camp. And he said this would also help with like funding and helping with help to establish like tours and more things. I guess make it like more a formal place or something like that. And then tying in with that, I interviewed two people who were survivors of the war, and they were actually the grand marshals for this year's parade. Gregorio Tenorio and Lucia McDonald. You might have heard their story before, like on other survivor stories, and it was nice speaking with them. Actually, Lucia, she knew my grandma. So small world or small island, right? And it was nice hearing their stories. They were both pretty excited to be a grand marshal. When I was speaking to them, though, they really just wanted to share their story, not just with us, but with the people of Guam, about what they went through. They remember everything like it was yesterday. They're both in their 80s, so it was really great to interview them. And the people of Guam, hopefully you get to meet them during the parade.
I actually interviewed Lucia in one of our survivor specials, and she was 14 during the war. You can also watch, in case you missed it, our live streams. The KUAM stream team was on the Liberation parade route, so you can watch those streams on our Facebook page. Some of the stories that I covered this week were politics, D16 tonight. Make sure to check it out next week, because we are featuring the candidates running for mayor and vice mayor in the village of Dededo. Also, the Republican National Convention was this past week, so Donald Trump finally accepted, we all knew he was going to get the nomination, and so he officially accepted it this week. And then there was the controversy and drama with Melania Trump supposedly plagiarizing parts of Michelle Obama's speech, and Governor Calvo. We got his clip, his speech that he gave, and so that garnered a lot of comments. And so if you want to see those comments, log on to our Facebook page.
Home of the B-52s?
Yes.
So Issa, what were you up to this week?
Well, just more on education. A lot of schools are preparing for the coming school year, but for Simon Sanchez High School, it looks like the work for them is going to be a little bit more difficult than expected. You may recall that this school did issue an intent to award a $100 million RFP to rebuild Simon Sanchez and also renovate 35 other schools, but it's again delayed after losing bidder Cortec International filed another protest with DPW. So as a result of this delay, Jigo Mayor Rudy Metzinani decided to rally together some students, some teachers, people in the community, and they held a protest in front of Simon Sanchez earlier this week. So we'll see how this plays out. That's still going through the OPA appeal process, so hopefully more progress will be made on this issue soon.
Mm-hmm. And myself, kind of good news on my end, I got to get out of the courtroom, and I got to go to the Plaza de España, where all these Pokemon players were gathering. And myself, I really, really want to download the game, but I am resisting the urge because I want to not be distracted. But I got to interview with people who were very, very excited about the game, and actually had many different reasons for playing. For one couple, they were newlyweds, and they actually bond over the game. They kind of compete against who could catch more Pokemon, and it looks like the girl was actually, the wife was in the lead with more Pokemon. She had more unique types. And then I also interviewed a man, Johnson Nicholas, who's losing weight with Pokemon because he had gone on vacation recently, gained 5 pounds, and his goal was to lose weight. And as a result of his Pokemon Go training, a lot of laps around Paseo, a lot of Plaza de España walking around, he lost 5 pounds. And other Pokemon players I encountered, they were actually in the shade, their camo bags, like hydrating. But they were really they taught me about safety. They understand all the national headlines, like people getting shot, a lot of suspicious activity going on in the States because of Pokemon Go, people even finding a dead body. Here on Guam, I'm glad to report that our players are being safe, they're playing it safe. And again, if you open the app, it always warns you to be aware of your surroundings. And for now, I will just live through everyone else's Pokemon Go play. And if you want us to cover anything, email us at reporters@kuam.com.